We'll call the meeting May 12th to order. Jesse, take the roll call, please.
Mayor
Doctor.
Siciliano?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Napolitano?
Here.
Councilmember Ruggiero?
Here.
And Fisher?
Here.
Oh, and Donlin? Here.
The notice requirement for the Open Public Meeting Act for this meeting has been satisfied. A copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press Coaster and posted in Town Hall and filed in the office of the Municipal Clerk on December 9, 2021. We have some guests here, so I guess we're going to defer right to... Want to do mine first? Okay. All right, Cal. The floor is yours. Introduce everybody.
So, many of you have known about the project that we were trying to do over at Joe Clay Park, when we were trying to do the pond. Well, when that had fallen apart, there was another opportunity that was raised in the Hilltop Springs environment. So we are here to present Where Angels Play, which is another charitable nonprofit that builds playgrounds, handicap accessible playgrounds throughout the country, actually overseas as well too. It's not just limited to the United States. So they're here to tell you a little bit about their mission and how they plan to partner with our foundation to gift to Ocean Township a beautiful playground.
That's nice.
We like
So
that.
this is Bill Lavin
Thank you. Thanks, Kelly.
and his daughter Mary
And this is
Kate.
Mary Kate. My daughter, Mary Kate, is the director of Where Angels Play. But we were just talking about football, and I think we were supposed to be here on the 28th, and Kelly texted that she couldn't come because I didn't know the connection. I said, wow, she must be a really big football fan. And I said,
I'm really into it.
I said, what's going on? I said, oh, no, well, I happen to know the first quarterback taken, so that's pretty cool. So anyway, I'm the founder of Where Angels Play. I'm a retired fire captain from the city of Elizabeth, New Jersey, and it was really born out of 9/11. I'm going to tell you the quick story and how we met Kelly and found out about Maya and all the wonderful work that the Maya Foundation is doing and why it's such a good fit. No pressure. Hopefully this will be, you'll agree that we're a good fit and have the credentials to deliver you a state-of-the-art playground and for all the right reasons. So you want to start?
Can I ask you a favor?
Sure.
Want to go on that side?
Sure? Sure, wherever you want
Just
me.
so we're not flipping back and forth?
Okay,
Thanks.
sure. That makes sense. Okay, so again, after 9/11, I was also the president of the New Jersey State FMBA. It was a firefighters labor organization, and my job was to really argue with council members like yourselves and mayors and governors and legislators over pensions benefits for our members. And that's what I did. I was a miserable guy. And I remember feeling sorry for myself. We thought the world was coming to an end. Hurricane Sandy had just hit. We were trying to rebuild the coast. And then the tragedy of Sandy Hook Elementary School happened. And my mother used to say to me, if I threw my problems in a pile with everyone else's, I would fight to get mine back. And I realized at that time that I had no problems. But even before that, after 9/11, we got cards and letters from a little third grade class from Mississippi, and they were cheering us up because we were navigating the tragedy and the loss of all of our firefighters and everybody that we lost in 9/11 and dealing with that. You all know, you lived through that as well. So we hung up those cards and letters on the wall, and 4.5 years later, saw that the school who sent us those letters was destroyed in the storm. So Mary, you want to just advance? And we decided, our organization raised about $400,000, sent it to a group called Save the Children. Save the Children ultimately invited us down to see the Gulf. And when we were looking at the homes, and we said, what more could we do? This was 6 months after the storm. And they said the kids have no place to play. All their playgrounds had been destroyed. It was nothing but glass, debris, rubble. So we weren't called Where Angels Play at that time. We built 3 of the first handicap accessible playgrounds in the history of the state of Mississippi. And then 7 years later, Hurricane Sandy hits our shore. We started to try to rebuild the coast. And again, on December 14, 2012, when the tragedy of Sandy Hook hit, our lives changed, and we thought, how could we help those families? We were reminded because the kids in the school that we had built a playground for remembered us, and were sending Christmas gifts to the children of New Jersey, and firefighters were to distribute them. It's then when I got this crazy idea that we should build playgrounds for the children of Sandy Hook and honor them celebrate their lives. The thing that the families loved most about it was not, the focus was on how they left us, on gun control, on violence and all that. We focused on their favorite colors, their favorite team, their favorite, if they loved Pirates or soccer. So we started to build for those children, and in 19 months, we thought it would take us 10 years, but in 19 months we were able to build 26 playgrounds and raise over $3 million. What we were able to do with this great company, with Paserno, Giordano, and SurePlay, was to take the drawings, and this is Waffles, Jessica Ricos' horse, and incorporate their actual handprints and drawings. And I apologize, I know this could be emotional for some of us here, especially Kelly, and so really bring out a personal touch and celebrate these beautiful children. This is some of our gang. So over the course of time, it's mostly firefighters, many retired. We have police officers, nurses, doctors, lawyers, EMTs, you name it, all walks of life that come together, and especially in today's crazy world, to come together in an environment that has no political wranglings. We celebrate life and support families and communities that could really use a boost. This is part of some of the things that happened. Caroline was a little girl who loved the color pink, and that was the sky that she gave us that particular night. So if you don't believe in angels, that's okay. There's enough of us that believe strong enough for the rest of us. So we've had some really remarkable things happen to us. That's Tony and Rich on the right of the picture that's on the left. This was one of our builds in Canada. We've also built in Rwanda, but I mentioned Tony and Rich is because they do this for a living. They build playgrounds in federal, state, and municipal parks. They're IPMA certified, so this isn't just a barn raising bunch of tired old men we're tired old men, but we're certified, and it's state of the art. When we leave, you get a certified playground. It took us, one of the stories from Sandy Hook, the surviving brother was counseled by a Rwandan survivor, and through a series of miracles that there's a book about and all, we actually went to Rwanda, to Kibeho, and built a playground there. And I think, maybe I can do it. There's a video here I want to show you the extent. These are children that never saw a playground before. So one of the poorest spots in the world. And why I show this is because without angels like Maya and all the angels that we advocate for, these children would not have a playground. So this was life-changing, as they all are. Hopefully they'll show you the rings, and it's a different one. So these rings, actually we have circular rings, and traditionally the kids grab one and swing, but these children in Africa went through horizontally and were climbing through, and somebody said, hey, show them the right way, and we're thinking, who's to say that's not the right way? But it was so foreign to them that they didn't, they never saw how to navigate that. So we were also able to bring bicycles and shirts from the various foundations. So there's kids who are 8,000 miles away that are better off and living a better life because we celebrate angels. And the other thing that is really, really special is we have learned through people like Kelly that even though it does, at times it's emotional and we do shed a tear, that families never want their loved ones, their angels, to be forgotten. When I speak about my mom and her quote, she's here in a way. When we speak about Maya, her work and her legacy continues. So this is this is not two playgrounds, it's one playground with two different views. You can see it's handicap accessible. We also include swings. We're thinking about, it's all about the surfacing. There's 3 types of surface that we use. If it's on the sand, that's a natural fall break. With a wood fiber, 1 foot gives us the the safety surface that we need, and then there's a more sophisticated one that you probably have some in your township with the cement with the poured in place. We were talking about it could be any one of those three, but we feel like the wood fiber probably be the best fit. I'm not one to get involved with the politics and the approvals and all that. I'm saying that we're willing to do this, and Kelly and her family are helping us to fund it in almost completely. So it isn't a taxpayer issue, and there is a trust issue. We built, I just come in from Malvern, PA, and we will cut the ribbon on our 58th playground in Malvern. So if you were to need references and experience of whether it's the Board of Ed or the councils of how they, how our Angels Play left them, and if they had a good relationship with us, we're pretty confident that we'll get some good recommendations. So if you're inclined, there's 2 books about this. The first one is How We Started. I wrote that one with my son. The second one is the story of forgiveness, Starfish of Africa, that we were compelled to write about the young man who we were able to bring back from Rwanda. He was a genocide survivor, and he's currently living in Switzerland and doing some pretty wonderful things. So that's us. We're looking to just try to make a little bit of a difference. Like I said, I went from arguing over some things that I got tired of arguing to listen to Kermit the Frog's Rainbow Connection and kind of, hugging big, sweaty guys and having a couple of lemonades afterwards. So that's what we do. I don't know if there's any questions for me. Or, Mayor, what did I forget? I do the speeches. Mary Kay does all the work. And
Other maybe just mentioning, you were talking about the references like Hannah's Playground in Tinton Falls.
Oh,
There's one
yeah.
right here close to us.
Oh,
As well.
One in Belmar too.
Asbury. Asbury.
so in New Jersey, there's
Yeah.
probably,
Tinton Falls.
I don't know, 18 to 20 builds in New Jersey. Many of the families from Sandy Hook, because they were had a national spotlight on them. They preferred actually to have their playgrounds built in areas far away from Sandy Hook. In fact, one of our plans was to build a park in Sandy Hook, and they said, look, Sandy Hook has gotten enough attention. We'd rather pay it forward to other communities. So we're in Tinton Falls with Hannah, who is Sue, I guess, is a contact and friend of Kelly's. We're in Asbury, which is actually being rebuilt, Seabright, Union Beach. We're in LBI, Belmar, Manasquan. Some are on the beach, some are a little inland, but the Jersey Shore. The idea actually after Hurricane Sandy was to have the spirit of the angels from Sandy Hook uplift the community that was hard hit by the storm, and the community that was hard hit by the storm would wrap their collective arms around the family. So it was really a beautiful coming together of emotional needs and spiritual. When we should say this, when Kelly reached out to us, and we just did a little tiny bit of research with Maya and what that beautiful foundation and what Kelly's been able to do in her name in helping children with cancer, and the amount of work that she has done on her own probably exceeds even the stuff that we've been able to do. So that's our story. I could go on, I could read you the books and all that, but you have a lot of other things that you need to do.
We also note, you didn't mention this, but look at the address on the bottom.
Oakhurst.
Right.
Oakhurst, New Jersey.
And Mary Kate is a resident of Oakhurst,
Oh, are you?
and
Yeah.
Where do you live?
Belleville Street.
Oh, so in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
See, I told you, that's.
she is currently trying to get a permit for her.
Yeah.
No
The only other
conflict of
thing
interest
that I
there.
would add is, you had mentioned in the beginning that this is something that the Mylan Terry Foundation is prepared to fully fund. We estimate the value to the town is, what, $250,000, $250,000
Holy
that we'd be
smokes.
gifting to the community. I think the property that we had discussed previously lends itself very well to this. It's something that would be unique on that side of the highway for Ocean Township.
We took a little tour, and we found a little spot over there, what we think could be good.
And this gift would take us over $1 million in gifting to pediatric cancer and our Pay It Forward campaign to the communities, so.
Excited.
I think we have a tentative build target of September, just gonna drop that bomb right now.
We don't own the property yet.
Well, yeah, that's.
Yeah, just to understand, right now, we've gotten approved the bonding, and now the next step is we have to make application before the Board of Adjustment,
Yeah, subdivision.
probably, to approve a subdivision of the property, but part of that would also include what's planned for that, so we'd have to have
This.
plans for this section of it, so we can present that to the board.
The engineer's just waiting for me to say. She was gonna be here today, but she's out of Melbourne, PA, so.
Okay, well, there you go.
We'll be, and actually, we'll be in touch.
Yeah, Greg is the guy,
So
yeah,
Greg-
that's who you
okay.
need
Send me those. I'll do
to
one.
communicate
Okay,
with.
so her name is Tony Giordano,
Okay.
and I think she's worked in Ocean Township. I think that's one thing that she had mentioned when we were on the phone here last time, that she's done
And I'll
extensive
touch
work.
base with her, see, give me a CAD file, but I'll pop it right on our plan, and it'll be part of our subdivision site plan.
Awesome, okay.
Yeah, I think with your design and the renderings are ready to go. Again, she's in between. I didn't mention that all of the labor is all volunteer. There was always a concern, I see Marty here with his legal mind going, but as far as we have a hold harmless,
Huh?
everybody signs from the standpoint of holding where angels play, and anybody else, we haven't up to date have any injuries, but we do. We actually have a little bit of it works in two ways. We bring everybody on who comes to help, whether we would encourage folks to listen. This is, Kelly said that this is a gift, but if there's somebody from the community or somebody wants to support where angels play and pay it forward, any money raised would go to the next project and the next and the next. But we also, while we're working, we'll have a picture of Maya with a badge. Everybody's on that will tell us two things: that they know the story, and they also have signed a waiver that indemnifies us from any legal problems. And so,
So that's my next question. Do you want support from the community? Do you want people to come out and help?
absolutely, absolutely,
Okay.
because it's we are kind of self-sufficient, and our guys can do it on their own, but it's so much more. It's a community build. The more people that know the story, and we would love to have, certainly starting with the family, the special nuances and the influence of Maya. The family will be involved, but certainly, yeah, the community. We want them there, and our guys will take a step back and say, hey, this is how it's done. But I will reiterate the fact that this is done with supervision, and by the time we walk away from it, it'll be as good or better than any park you have ever installed.
We'll certainly get the word out to, I assume you're gonna need some prep work, maybe some contractor work done before you
Yeah.
do the install.
Some excavation, there's a couple, and we can do it without it, but we would love, I love our DPWs to, with a skid steer and auger bit, to help us with the holes, so we're not bringing in our equipment, things like that, maybe some snow fencing, but we don't tax them too much. We can do it on our own. We would love to have a partner with them. But we certainly want the community to come out and take part in it in as much of a way that they can. And the other thing I would say is we're a very lean organization. Any donation to our Angels Play to the tune in the high 90s, like 95% of every dollar that's given to us goes to a slide. Most of us are retired firefighters and have these rich pensions that we got from the state of New Jersey. And some people are not happy about that, but it gives us the opportunity to do things like this. So I'm kidding. But
All the labor is all volunteers, no
yes,
payment.
yes,
Because once we pay, then we have prevailing wage issues, so.
yes.
I knew Marty was thinking of the.
Yeah, that's what I was-
They said all volunteer, and if we get outside contractors to help pitch in with the heavy work, which I know of a couple that wants to do a favor for us.
Yeah.
Somebody's very happy with the police department, he called me. So we can probably get some of the heavy equipment stuff.
Yeah, there's usually, a local group that has an excavator or something like that. But yeah, no, nobody's, we're, you know, we're union guys and very conscious of that, but this goes above and beyond. So we're hoping you'll like it as much as we do. Again, I never, this is a soft sell. If we're gonna build a playground for Maya, we hope it's here in Oakhurst, but it doesn't have to be, so.
So can I ask, so, and I don't know if now's the time, but knowing how prepared you always are, so it sounds like you
Anal,
already.
no.
I was gonna use prepared.
There's other ones.
I thought she had the skid steer delivered already.
Drilling down.
That's that. You already have the drawings? You said-
Tony's preparing the drawings, so
Okay.
we had to put in like elements about Maya.
Sure.
And then she'll come up with the schematic and then do the engineering.
So is it handicap or inclusive? So
What
is
would
it
be the-
just,
It's handicap accessible, so I guess that's all inclusive?
Yeah, they call it handicap accessible
Right.
with the ramps. There's others that have you know, are designed specifically for differently abled children. This is not one of those.
okay,
Is that you're probably talking $1 million for
that's
those?
fine, I have,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So is
But
it,
this is wheelchair accessible where they can turn around and even
Right.
like a, you know, an elderly grandparent could make it onto the site with them, but.
okay, and what about so to that point, the next one is the access?
Access is
So people-
handicap accessible. So we have a ramp that gets you onto the structure without, I mean, you navigate maybe a few feet of the wood fiber.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're all, you know, we're all good with that.
Great, Bill, thank
Okay, but
you.
thank you for your time,
Good
and
stuff.
we should go, hopefully we'll
Thank you, that was good.
be making some mischief together, but yes, thank you.
Thanks.
Mary Kate, do you?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have some cards. so-
Have at it.
No, we'll get it.
Yeah, pleasure. Thank you, thank you. Well.
So you need some more
Again,
firemen?
this is, you know, clearly a gift from Maya and not where angels play. We enjoy what we do,
Yeah, I
so.
think they're cutting the ribbon
You need
Saturday.
some more
and we'll
firemen?
be free to talk about ours.
Probably
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
We've got a couple weeks before.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Hold it down.
I was waiting for him to give me a handshake.
Good luck.
Just
He was
great.
on my.
Just.
Okay, pleasure to meet you.
Beautiful gift.
Okay, great, thank you.
All right, later.
Mayor?
Thanks, Mayor.
Thank
Take
you.
care. I hope we didn't take too much time, but.
Take care.
Worthwhile.
We're always willing to listen to somebody donate a foot.
There you go.
Plenty of time for you.
Okay. Good luck with the rest of your meeting.
Yep,
Nice to
thank you.
meet you. Take care.
That was the highlight.
Oh, well, you can shut it off there, but you still want the power off there. I'll climb it.
Are you being joined?
Steady.
Should be good.
Oh, you're not covered under workers' comp.
Yeah.
I'm more worried about the chair than the table.
Margie doesn't want to get pressed into service here.
All right, we have Kim
I wouldn't
over
step
here,
back
our
on that.
Assembly representative from the 11th District.
Accident waiting for
Want to
me.
introduce yourself, so, I don't know if you got the memo, but as soon as you guys, after the election, I reached out to Sean and to Tommy, because I always like to invite new people to come and visit the town, and you're gonna visit them all, but, and say hello, so at least we all know who you are.
Yes,
These
thank you.
meetings are taped, by the way. so
Okay.
just-
May I sit or should you want me to
You
stand?
can stand if you like.
Yeah, okay.
Or whatever you're
Here's, you know,
comfortable,
turn around.
whatever you're comfortable.
Okay, great. I'll just throw my stuff down. Thank you for having me, Mayor. Hello,
Actually, you know
everyone.
what? Can I make a suggestion?
Oh, over there.
The camera's
Oh,
there.
the camera's there.
Camera's up there, yeah.
See, I thought it was just because of the screen up here.
Yeah, the camera's up there.
Oh,
Play with the camera.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kim Molnar. I am a lifelong resident of New Jersey, born and bred in Shrewsbury, New Jersey, so right down the street, we're neighbors. I was on the Shrewsbury Borough Council for 4 years, so one term and then re-elected. I successfully ran, obviously, for the Assembly with my running mate and now fellow Assemblywoman Marilyn Paperno. Marilyn unfortunately could not be here today because she had a close family friend pass away, so she's out of the services. but she sends her regards, and she would love to come on her own as well. But we are very, very thrilled to be here to represent LD11, currently 18 towns. With the recent gerrymandering or the changing of the, we're going to net one more town, and we'll have 19. So we're going to be losing West Long Branch, but gaining Bradley Beach and Fairhaven. So we're very excited about that. So as I said earlier, I'm born and bred. Maryland's been in Colts Neck for over 20 years. But I decided I wanted to run above and beyond council to sort of put my money where my mouth is. I was sick of complaining about high taxes and what's happening to the schools and, you know, quality of life and everything. So we sort of coined ourselves as like the common sense moms. We were sick of like the political machine and the people that are just in politics for a career. We have full-time jobs, we have children, and this is a part-time job, which is really a full-time job. But we're very, we have wonderful staff. Isaac is one of our staff members, so he's here to join you today. But we're based in Tinton Falls, and we're also going to be opening up an office in Freehold, so we kind of cover our areas. Basically, since we were sworn in January, we've been appointed to 2 different sets of committees. I am on AFI, which is Financial Institutions and Insurance. I'm also on Oversight, and I'm on Human Services. Marilyn's also on Human Services with me. So what we are focusing on, again, is quality of life. As you're all aware, I'm sure, of the high extreme levels of car thefts. We've just submitted some legislation for bills to be reviewed and hopefully passed. The high level of them, the first one is currently any car that is valued less than $75,000, if that is stolen and or recovered, the people that steal that car are not held to the same level if it's worth less than $75,000. So what we've proposed is to bring that level of the car value down to $25,000. We felt that, personally, I don't drive a $75,000 car. I aspire to it, but you know, this is great, it's not gonna happen. So it was disadvantaging our regular people that just are driving that Honda Accord, which is actually one of the highest stolen cars of the top 10. That's high, which is always surprising to me. Along with the Ford F-150, the pickup truck. And then obviously the BMWs of the world. So that's one bill that we're hoping to pass. Another one is, it's called Joyriding. In my mind, joyriding is when you go for like a Sunday drive. But it's when someone steals a car with the intention of passing it on and not keeping it for themselves. If they're caught in that car, that's considered joyriding. And it was a 4th-degree crime. We are hoping to have it moved up to a 3rd-degree crime. So that way someone would be held accountable. Third one, bill, is if someone gets into that stolen car, if they're unaware that it's stolen and they get in and they're very innocent, they will continue at a 4th-degree crime. If they are aware it's a stolen car and they get in it anyway and caught, a 3rd-degree crime. Last point would be about anyone, typically the people that they've decided or realized that are stealing these cars are juveniles, 15 to 17, before their 18th birthday. We don't want these people to go to jail necessarily, but we want to also offer them some sort of counseling, education, to not say this is it, you're done, but to educate them on how they can maybe get their lives on a better path. So it's not like we're going to just throw away the key. We want to help these young people to make sure they're not, you know, disadvantaged going forward. So that's 4 things. We're also hoping to work on some other bills, which I don't have all the details, but they're being written now. So that's, again, one example of quality of life. We're always concerned about open space and keeping Monmouth County, especially as beautiful as it has been my whole life. I know there's a situation with the Deal Lake, and there's a commission. We're hoping to meet with that commission to learn more, to see if there's anything we can help legislatively, to help clean it up, and to help make that get to be as beautiful as it should be. Also, just, you know, always just trying to keep our eyes and ears open. We have a great constituent group. Next week, you would know the address, Isaac, but we're going to have sort of visiting hours. We're going to be going out to different towns throughout the district. So people who are unable to get to our office, or maybe you don't have the phone number or have access, we're gonna come to them, public libraries.
Next week, we have in Ocean Township here at the Township Library on Deal Road. We're gonna have mobile office hours on Tuesday from 10
Send me
to
that
2.
so we can put it out there for you.
Okay, thank you.
So we wanna be present, and we're not just showing up for photo ops. I mean, we are going to events and presenting resolutions and more, but we're getting involved. We're going to Asbury Park a lot. We are getting involved with different charities throughout the 18 towns. There's different group homes. There's suicide awareness groups. We met today with March of Dimes. So we are really caring and concerned about our citizens. We want, again, everyone to be able to afford to stay in this state, especially in this county. I always say this, my best friends from Shrewsbury retired to Florida in their 50s because they don't think they can afford to stay here. So that saddens me. I hope to be like my parents, to be able to retire here, stay here, until it's the end of my life. But again, that's why I threw my hat in the ring. It's a 2-year term. Again, we work with Vin Gopal well, like we work on resolutions and proclamations with his team as well. And just again, want to make this the best possible place to live, affordable, safe, and more. So any questions for anybody?
No, just, we appreciate anytime you do anything near Ocean or you have something coming up, just let us know, or Isaac get in touch with us. Then we can help promote it too for the town folks, they can get to know.
And vice versa. We have obviously social media, website. One part of our website, which we're going to broaden into, is different charitable organizations that people may need help with. And just hearing about this great, Angels Playground, I want to learn more about that and just see maybe there's other people that aren't aware of it, and spread the word, or maybe even for donations for their purposes.
Yeah.
But always have a door open, an ear, ready to listen. So whatever you guys need, and hope to continue the relationship with everybody going forward and see how we can help.
Great.
All right.
Thanks, Vin.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll go out the right exit this time.
Yeah, you have cards to give out.
I do not have cards, they're being printed, but we can obviously, Trenton. Yes, so, but if you ever need anything, also, excuse me, one more last thing. With COVID, there was the tours of the State House that were discontinued. They're starting to do those again.
Oh, nice.
4th grade obviously is learning about civics, 7th grade. So if if your schools or teachers ever wanted to do that, we'd be happy to organize a tour, bring them down. There was a Assemblyman, Ned Thompson, that brought 7th grade class, had them in the caucus room, down on, in the floor, sitting in, the assembly seat, the Senate. So it would be great for the kids. So if you ever want to do that, please let us know.
Thank you. Great.
All right.
Good, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys for
Thanks,
coming.
Kim.
Thank you.
Have a great
I have
day.
it, I'll send it to you.
It's okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Take care.
Thanks again.
Thanks, Kim.
Thank you.
Take care. Have a good
too.
evening.
Thank you.
Okay.
I was gonna say she has a lot of nerve. You got it. Name is Ulmer.
Ulmer?
Huh?
I'll get it.
Oh, that's Ulnar nerve. That's Ulnar.
Ulmer.
The Ulmer in the radio.
ULNAR, Ulnar.
I know, but didn't she say her name was Ulmer?
Ulnar.
With the E.
U-E-L.
I know it has an E, but I thought she said Ulmer.
Ulnar.
She pronounced it like.
Oh, Marty.
There's that in your arm, the ulnar in the radio.
Ulnar nerve.
Oh,
Innervates the
I
pinky
get-
and the side of your.
Come on.
I got it. I'm
Anatomy?
sorry. No clue.
202 bones, you don't know any of them.
Those are the ones that hurt.
He knows the femur.
We have,
And the
what do we-
humerus. It's always humorous.
Bobby loved the humorous.
what do you got, Greg?
Okay. First thing on my list, I met with the gentleman who was at 2 Donna Court. He's very receptive to us taking the trees out. I told him we would replant another row back on his property between a couple of large street trees that he has. He said absolutely no problem. He says it's a good thing because he's seen the kids go out in the street.
Yeah.
So he was kind of happy we were doing this.
Oh, good.
So we'll put that in, that'll be in the 22 road program.
That's Wickapecka? I didn't.
That's, yeah, the sidewalk on Wickapecco from Woods End to Darlene.
They probably were overgrown anyway, he just let them go, I think.
Well, actually, they come right to the curb. I mean, they definitely are overgrown, but they're not in the street, but they, like, he must trim them so they aren't in the street, but they're.
He's gonna be glad we do it and give them something else.
Yeah. It'll make it look a lot better.
That way it makes sense making a straight run all the way down instead of go here, cross here, go back, go back.
Right, yeah, yeah, that was a good idea you had
Yeah.
this stuff.
I get once in a while.
Okay, the speed bumps, we did get a word from Ricky, there is available funding, so I'm gonna put those out for quotes probably early next week, maybe tomorrow, but probably early next week. We're gonna be putting one in the locations we talked about on Lake, 372 Lake, 44 Park, between 107.
What'd you leave?
My phone.
Oh, I heard it ring.
Sorry.
She was
And,
taping this one.
Lake Park.
Lake Park and Bibler.
Remember it for now.
And we'll
Is
just
it
put
an
in,
Applebee as an alternative, maybe?
yeah, maybe, well, I think probably next year, because I think we're
Well,
gonna
the
put it
next
for
year
the
we'll come
season.
up with 3 more, I guarantee it.
Well, I think what we're gonna, probably certainly won't be putting one on Bimler, because if the county comes through and does put those 2 no left turns
Right, you
in,
won't
the
be-
traffic will be gone and they won't want a speed bump in there anymore.
Okay.
But they know that's coming, but they still probably won't want it next year. Next thing, the second part of the paving, phase 2 of paving of the walking trails in Joe Clay Park. I'm still gonna get with Ricky to make sure we have enough open space funding. I know we have enough, I just want him to confirm that we have enough, so that'll go. That'll be bid probably this summer for the fall pavement. The next item is sediment testing for the pond is scheduled for May 26th and 27th. So that's coming up fast. And we'll get those results probably about 3 weeks after that. So probably by the next meeting, we might have the results for the June meeting. And we're just looking for the arsenic level below there. The next thing I'm sure most of you are aware is that BJ's jug handle was finally
Yeah,
paved
all
and
done.
striped. So yeah, we finally got to the end of that one.
Look
And now
nice.
we'll start, that's the physical part, we'll start the financial part with Marty, and we'll go after them, we'll get the final numbers and assess them, and get the money out of them. The 21 road program bids are due May 25th, coming up next week. The drainage that Rob was asking about, which was in the road program in Joe Play Park, where the DPW building that floods in there, that's scheduled to be done in mid-June.
Great.
Contractor is back in town, he's the one who did the jug handle.
Yep.
He's moving around doing some other things, but he has scheduled that for mid-June.
Nice.
Okay, the crosswalk on Whale Pond is scheduled for the first week of June, so he'll be there, and then he'll go to Joe Play Park.
Beautiful.
Okay, the 2020 road program, he is back, he is part of what he's doing, he's back in town, he is starting next Monday on West Morgan,
Oh,
which is one of the roads. Just so you know, we got the 3 roads we got left is West Morgan, Seward, and Ampere. So that's the order he'll be doing
You
though.
guys know where West Morgan is?
No.
Okay, that's in what you would think would be Deal,
Yes.
but it really goes from the sewer plant to Norwood.
Okay.
Yeah, most people have no idea that's an ocean.
No, I never let them know, I campaign back there quietly myself.
I finally figured out where it
Well, there's a little
starts.
condo development too back there.
There is condos,
Yes.
I've seen the condos,
There's a bunch of them in there.
right next to the sewage treatment.
It's a bold move to go that back there because they get, they get the
Yeah.
westerly wind.
Yeah.
Just
Sure
saying.
do.
Yeah, the one caveat to finishing West Morgan, we probably will only pave half the top course on that, even though we'll wait a couple months to pave it, but there's a development right there in the corner of West Morgan and Norwood,
Yeah.
which has been contested by Deal, and now it's back in front of the planning board, so they're slowed down. We
Now,
will
that's
make-
our application, not ours, but it's an ocean application. And as Greg said, just so you guys know, the Deal residents and some of the Deal board members are objecting to the height and the position of the building. So the contractor, the developer is making a lot of concessions. He's trying to make it fit for him. He seems to be like the most agreeable guy I've ever seen, really.
I think the reason is he lives in Deal.
Oh, Franklin
The
does?
owner, the owner lives in.
Oh, he does?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
and that's how he's getting beat up.
Yeah, his
That side of the
his
street.
friends, okay.
Yeah, but he does have utilities in the street, and we will probably not do the final payment
Until
because
he's done.
we're gonna make allowances for his curb cut.
Yeah.
But utilities will be the.
Let him
thing.
top coat it.
Yeah, well, that's what the part of the conditions will have to
Yeah.
be. We're gonna see if he either has to do that, put money up for it, or how we do that. Well,
Yeah, so why can't we just base coat it?
that's what we're gonna do. I'm just saying, we're gonna top coat the back half.
Yeah, and then
just
base coat the front,
front,
let him,
and then
okay,
let him
gotcha.
finish pave that.
I thought you weren't gonna do base coat at all, but good.
No, yeah, we'll do the base, and then he'll do the top course
Yeah.
when he's done.
Yeah.
At least that's the plan. The next thing, we had a visit from the Girl Scouts from the Wayside School. They came in and were interested in doing a safety upgrade, pedestrian safety upgrade to the intersection of Deal and Bound. And we listened to them. It was always something we kind of wanted to have on target of, but we've never been known to had an opportunity to do the road program there yet, because we've been north of that. This is a little south of where we've been. but they're looking at cleaning up that intersection. So one of the
Where the
things.
planting,
The rocks.
where the planting, the
Well,
rock
the Rock
garden
Rock
is?
Island is,
Yeah.
one of the things that I'm kind of contemplating is getting rid of
Rid
that
of-
slip
yeah.
road and just making that a real
Straight.
four-way intersection.
Yes.
Because that's the problem, people fly around that to go east on Deal Road, and pedestrians are at their mercy.
And there's a school there. I mean, it should really never, as that school opened in the late 70s, that should have been out then.
Yeah.
And I think
So-
they thought that through.
It's really hard to cross the street, it's really hard to ride your bike across
Now,
the
the
street.
four-way makes sense,
Yeah.
because you're on the honor system anyway when you go there if you're honorable.
And this will make, we'll have the crosswalks, you know, in front of the stop bars, so it'll
Yeah.
be, he'll dress it up in much more pedestrian friendly.
So you'd get rid of the whole rock garden thing?
Yep. Yeah, that's
I
what the
do
plan.
like my slip road.
Yeah, you aren't gonna be able to fly through on that corner anymore. You're the guy we're worried about.
I am that guy. Admittedly.
But that I'm gonna try to put in probably the 2022 program. And then, as a caveat to that, one of the things also, and we wanted to apply for a Safe Route to School grant to get sidewalk from Carberry up to this intersection.
Yes,
So that'll dovetail in.
that would be great.
That's huge.
Yeah,
That's great.
That's kind of the one thing they didn't really bring up, but we brought up at the meeting, saying, you know, that any kids coming from that development, there's no way to get there without going in the street.
Yeah.
So that'll be a really nice enhancement, especially with the intersection kind of.
Yeah, there's no sidewalks, it just stops.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
stops blunt.
Yeah,
So
that's a good addition.
We are still trying to figure out with DOT, the police are involved with their traffic safety officers to get across 18. But that's quite a challenge and quite a hurdle. But we're still working on that. We did send letters years ago and it was kind of not responded to real quickly, but the DOT knows we're looking for that crossing.
Be nice.
A lot of the community members are trying to get to the church from.
Yeah, you got
the
those
west
on and
side,
off
the east
ramps,
side.
that's the problem.
Yeah, and it's mostly
It's
just
scary.
the on-ramp coming from eastbound or
Going
westbound.
going
to
south.
Go south on 18, is it just fly. And because it widens out there, everybody just instantly goes. And if you had a pedestrian there, you didn't see him, they're gonna, yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. But that is on our list to do that too. Next thing is South Edgemere, the funding, we are getting additional funding to do that. The bids are high because of the price of steel, but we are getting that done. Construction will probably, contract will probably be awarded midsummer, so that'll probably be a fall project. And then the bike lanes on Monmouth Road. I talked to the county traffic engineer today, they finally got back to me, and they were not happy with our traffic numbers. Not so much they didn't like the speeds, they couldn't figure out where we took the tests and where the numbers were taken from and when they were taken. I said, but didn't you call the lieutenant down there? I said, I can
And
tell you.
all
the
that
polls
stuff's
are restricted."
available. right?
Yeah, though they just, I guess, they're going back and forth, they couldn't find any info, so they redid it.
Wow.
So I don't know what that's gonna show, because our numbers were really nice, because we were, in, you know, we did it, I think, in like February.
They did it at the intersection of here and.
Well, they're doing it now, so it's like,
Great.
right, yeah, and the traffic now, as you know, is much
Starting to
higher.
swell.
Yeah, so, but he said there's a different standard they use now than just the 85th percentile, so we'll see what that comes up with. And that's supposed to be done now, it'll be done in 2 weeks, he said, so we'll probably be hearing from him in about 3 weeks. And that's all I have.
All right.
I think I got one.
I have one thing also.
Yeah, we're gonna do that for a
Okay.
second.
But I also have one other thing which I forgot to mention to you, but it involves Greg, and that is, do you remember 12 Saxony Drive? And the subdivision, they wanted to do a subdivision, they had a deed restriction, they had a tennis court, they had to take out the tennis court, and not even ringing a bell.
That's way
I saw
off
the
of
plan, I
Park.
probably would.
Park Avenue, you know where it is. up
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
anyway.
remember things when I see the plan, I don't know. but yeah.
The name of the guy was Gindy, and they were trying to sell one of the lots, but in order to sell them, they had to do certain work, and they couldn't get it done. So we agreed that they could put $20,000 in escrow. You actually reviewed the agreement back in the day.
Sure I did.
Okay.
How old is this agreement?
The agreement's December 30th of 2021.
Oh.
So yeah. And we reviewed the agreement, they had to do certain work, and they had to do it within 6 months. We're holding hopefully $20,000 in escrow, and if they didn't do the work within 6 months, we could give them 2 30-day extensions, or maybe 1 30-day extension, no, 2 30-day extensions. And apparently they were having a problem with Verizon, who had to move wires, and that was causing their delay. So I've been getting phone calls that they want us to extend it. I apparently signed the agreement, I have no problem with it, but I just wanted to report to you that unless somebody had a problem, you know, the idea was to get them to do the work and then have Greg inspect it, if he remembers. And,
I'm gonna look it up.
yeah, I'll look at that. So that was the, so unless anybody objects, that's what I'm gonna
Okay. No? Anything else on the agenda?
Two quick ones, Mayor.
Yeah,
So the meadow on Deal Road, talk to Public Works.
yes.
Their concern is that all the
The
wildlife
life
has now made that their kind of home.
for habitat.
So they're kind of just chilling out over there, so they're worried about bringing the lawnmowers out and all that, and what will that do? So whatever the governing body's pleasure is, we can maintain it as a meadow, or we can let the
Well, I
wildlife-
mean, when we first started this project,
Mhm.
it was gonna be, because I started with Maggie years ago. She was the one that said, let's just let it grow naturally, and there could be a habitat maybe for butterflies, this and that. And we cut a few paths through it just to keep it, so we can get in there and do stuff and maintain it. We had a couple of wide paths cut that we would cut every year. So it's the same equipment. I think what's happened is, you're starting to get like the tree specimens growing. It's not just the lee that it used to be, with the meadow,
Probably got a lot of vine
the
growth.
grass. Now you're getting, and I think that's what she's concerned about. I mean, we gotta get those out somehow.
So like the invasive stuff? you mean?
Yeah, I mean, even with starting to grow stalks of trees.
It
are
looks like a
growing.
tree farm.
It does.
Well, because there always was tree farms in that
Yeah.
area.
So they said there was an oak
Yeah.
position in there that has to remain.
A
If
what,
I remember
Dave?
correctly.
A what?
An oak. I thought if I read that correctly somewhere.
No, I don't know, I haven't seen anything there, unless it's off in a corner somewhere.
I mean, it seems like that front corner is where most of the trees are growing. Can we like leave that to reforest and then clear the rest of the meadow?
Yeah.
I mean, there's always been
Public Works
animals
said
in
they can
there.
do
It's always
whatever. They
been
would
there.
And
just-
somehow they cut it down right. It went from 2 feet to, 8 inches every year when they cut through. I don't know. I'm sure there were groundhogs and maybe they
Yeah,
get out of the way when they
it's-
hear the lawnmower.
yeah.
I don't know. Make some noise,
Yeah.
Put some signs up.
put some.
Let them know we're coming.
Animals gonna read
Those
something.
goofers. No, I get that part. I don't know. But somehow we gotta figure out a way to navigate in there
Yeah.
without doing any harm to
Start
the
excavating.
habitat.
So that's what we'll do then.
Yeah.
So does she want to just clear cut this whole thing down to,
No, but she wants it maintained, and you have to cut it every few years to maintain it.
And it
To prevent
hasn't.
that from happening.
yeah,
Well, that's what happened. We just let it go a few years, and now the tree stalks start growing.
yeah,
Had we been mowing it, those would never have had a chance.
yeah. You're not going to mow those things down with a lawnmower.
No, now they
That's kinda
require,
too late for that part.
now they require the tree cutting, or like you said, you leave that section,
Yeah,
which is a shame, because visually,
Right.
you can really see that thing from the road, and it has great impact.
yeah.
And it's beautiful.
Maybe you
So,
can weed whack around the saplings and create a little.
yeah, well, I'd
I mean,
say
can you cut them down?
I'd say cut them back
I
a
would
little
say
bit
cut
or
them-
something. You don't want to
Yeah.
block
Cut them down.
block the view from the road.
They're less than 9 inches, 6 inches.
Isn't that water? I was talking circumference, you're talking diameter.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Anyway, okay, I think that's the message on that one, Dave. See what they can do.
Okay. We'll navigate around it. And then the other last thing is that CFO wanted me to mention to everybody not on this council meeting, but the next one, which is the second Thursday in June, we're gonna have on an ordinance to mandate direct deposit of employee pay. So this would just basically put everybody on direct deposit, and it would mandate it. So,
You still have live checks out there, I guess.
yeah, it's just easier for
Yeah.
everyone on direct deposit.
Are you gonna get objections?
Most
I'm
towns.
I'm in favor of it, but you gonna get objections?
Possibly.
I'm in favor of it too.
Yeah.
It makes total sense. However, you may have that straggler that, believe it or not, might not have a checking account.
There's multiple options for them to
Yeah, they can
either
get a card,
one, or
you can get
there's ways to go, because this has been out there since 2015. So most towns already moved in this direction already.
I still can't believe
Yeah.
people don't do direct deposit.
Yeah.
So,
I still get a check.
You what?
Me too. I'll
We
get
still
touched.
get.
And then I've got
checks.
a couple
Okay.
items for
I
executive
just
session.
switched.
Okay.
So,
Does anybody else have
That's the
anything
only thing
before
I
we
don't
go
have.
into executive?
my shit goes in, it goes out, it goes in, it goes out. I don't know what the hell's going on there. It's actually
David,
not a
Margie,
good
we're gonna
thing.
go into close. You have anything before we go?
No, you're good.
All right, so we're at section 8 of the Open Public Meeting Act, 231. Permits the exclusion of the public.
Council on
meetings. All right, good evening, everybody. We're gonna call the meeting of May 12th, 2022 to order. Jesse, can we have the roll call, please?
Mayor Siciliano?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Napolitani?
Here.
Councilmember Rechera?
Here.
Donlin?
Here.
Fisher?
Here.
Everybody please rise for a pledge of allegiance, and then please remain standing for a moment of silent prayer thereafter. Tonight we're going to remember Peggy Rue, who we lost recently. It's mom of Tom Rue, who is our OEM director and also our cameraman here. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The notice requirement for the Open Public Meeting Act for this meeting has been satisfied. A copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press, posted in Town Hall, and filed in the office of the municipal clerk on December 9th, 2021. There are two exits, one to my left, which will bring you out to the back of the building and out to the front parking lot, and one to my right, which will bring you out to the front parking lot. If you have a phone, we ask that you turn it off. All these meetings are taped and archived and recorded at a later date, and the ambient noise does interfere with our recordings. Go out into the hallway if you have to. If it's going to be louder, go outside. Okay. Before we get started, we're going to see if we have any council reports. John, you have anything?
No report, Mayor.
Okay. Marge?
No report.
Rob?
You want to do Dave?
Oh, Dave. Sorry.
That's fine. I saw you had notes.
I do have a report. How about that? I do want to remind everybody that this car thefts have been obviously in the news locally. I just want to remind everybody to please lock your doors. Do not make yourself an easy target. Ocean Township PD is very much aware of this issue, but obviously it's more important that if you see something, please say something. So lock your doors.
Thank you. Rob?
Good. We had our Chamber of Commerce board meeting this morning. Amongst other things, we are promoting the Chamber and Business Expo that is taking place at Jumping Brook Country Club, June the 7th, 5 to 7:30 p.m. If you register for that, you actually get free membership into the chamber for a full year. So encouraging everybody to do that. Space is limited. It's our biggest event of the year, has always been. Tremendous turnout. So hopefully if those businesses are out there looking, we'd love to have you. We have businesses and food vendors. You could do either. Well, you can't do both. But you could do either of those. And you could always reach out to the chamber at 732-660-1888. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Dave?
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to ditto what you said and extend my condolences to Tom and his family.
Marty?
I would agree. Condolences to Tom and his entire family.
Thank you. Okay, so tonight we have our special opening here for our budget. We're going to adopt our budget tonight, so I need somebody to authorize the 2022 municipal budget to be read by title. Somebody please offer.
I'll offer.
Second?
I'll second.
Rechera?
Yes.
Donlin?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Napolitani?
Yes.
Siciliano?
Yes, Jess. By title? We rehearsed this.
The local budget of the Township of Ocean, County of Monmouth for the fiscal year 2022.
All right, so tonight we have the public hearing on the budget of 2022. Someone, just give you some highlights before we open it up. I'll tell you this budget from what it was originally presented to us at, we had, all of us rejected the original budget and asked our CFO to go back to the drawing board, and he reduced it by over $1 million, this budget. For the 8th year in a row, our municipal tax rate has dropped. We started 52 cents back in 2015. We're down to 36 cents. So some good highlights here. It meets some of the requirements that we need to keep the town moving forward, meeting some of our budget constraints and our economic pressures. It's a responsible budget all in all. But at this time, someone please make a motion to open a public hearing on the municipal budget.
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing on the municipal budget.
Second?
I'll second.
Rechera?
Yes.
Donlin?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Napolitani?
Yes.
Siciliano?
Yes. Anybody wishing to be heard on the municipal budget, step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Okay, seeing and hearing no one, so we'll make a motion to close the public hearing on the budget.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing on the 2022 municipal budget.
Second?
I'll second.
Achara?
Yes.
Donlin?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes.
Siciliano?
Yes, we have Peachtree, we're gonna,
Motion to adopt.
yeah, motion to adopt the 2020 municipal budget?
I'll make a motion to adopt the 2022 municipal budget.
Yes.
The year, right?
Yeah, I probably said it wrong. I said 2020, that was a better one. No, I'm kidding, it was a very close. A second?
I'll second.
Achara?
Yes.
Donlin?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes.
Siciliano?
Yes, action on the 2022 budget?
I'll make a motion to approve the 2022 municipal budget and publish according to law.
Second?
I'll second.
Achara?
Yes.
Donlin?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes.
Siciliano?
Yes, the budget's been moved. Thank you very much, Mr. CFO, for Ricky over here for putting that together for us and working on it. And you kind of came in on short notice at the right in the middle of budget time, so you were able to put that together for us. We really appreciate your hard work, and we appreciate you listening to us as well when it came to the cuts. I know in your arena that's painful to make cuts, but it's what we do. It's what we were elected to do. But thank you very much for the hard work. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, the purpose of the public portion of this is to solely ask questions, understand resolutions that appear on the agenda, not an opportunity to ask questions on an ordinance. That'll appear at the end of the meeting. You can come up and ask any questions germane to Ocean Township business. So tonight on our, does anybody have anything, by the way, that's on our consent agenda? Anybody have any questions about any resolutions that appear right now? Not ordinance, just resolutions? Okay. All right, so someone please offer the minutes and the resolutions 2294. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Through 2294. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second?
I'll second.
Achara?
Yes.
Donlin?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes.
Siciliano?
Yes, for individual action, we have vouchers in the amount of $11,029,926.69. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second?
I'll second.
Achara?
Yes.
Donlin?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes.
Siciliano?
Yes, resolution 2295, authorize the tax collector to issue refunds for the following taxpayers who overpaid the first quarter 2022 property taxes. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second?
I'll second.
Achara?
Yes.
Donlin?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes.
Siciliano?
Yes, 2296, authorizing a contract with Community Grants Planning and Housing, CGP and H LLC, to be the administrative agent for the administration of the township's affordable housing units for the period ending December 31st, 2022, at a cost not to exceed $8,300. Somebody please offer.
I'll offer.
Second?
I'll second.
Achara?
Yes.
Donlin?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes.
Siciliano?
Yes, 2297, approve a road opening permit for Block 24, Lot 2, commonly known as 409 Grant Avenue, as requested by Monmouth Custom Builders, Inc. For Jackie, you did. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second?
I'll second.
Achara?
Yes.
Donlin?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes.
Siciliano?
Yes, and for final adoption tonight, we have ordinance 2386. Jess, would you read the title?
Sure. An ordinance amending Chapter 9 of the Revised General Ordinances of the Township of Ocean, 1965, entitled Soil and Tree Removal.
Someone please open a public hearing on 2386.
I'd like to open the public hearing on ordinance 2386.
Second?
I'll second.
Achara?
Yes.
Donlin?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes.
Siciliano?
Yes. Anybody wishing to be heard on 2386, now's the time to come up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record.
Gene Armstrong, 2500 Sunset Avenue. As I've said before, I think it's extremely prohibitive. I think you're going to have a lot of problems with this. And I thought the high fee was going to be because you were going to have a certified tree expert, and it turns out it's just going to be in the construction office like before, which was a real disaster the last
you have
time.
Comment on that, Mark?
We have a tree expert,
have
a hired tree expert who
Who is this?
Avakins.
Because Avakins tree expert? All right.
Well, we're certified.
I do know him, and I know who he is. And like I say, I take it the construction's handling most of it, though, because I met somebody at one meeting, and it wasn't an Avakins guy.
There's a full-time employee that will be doing.
He's going to be doing most of the
processing.
legwork, yeah.
Yes. Yep, and then he'll be handing off to the certified tree expert. for his
Avakins certified
expertise.
tree expert.
Exactly.
Yeah. Who's really just a landscape architect with the credential. And
Well, Yes,
He's got the credentials.
yes, for
He
certified
does
tree
have the
expert. We
credentials.
have that.
Yes,
Okay.
I know who he is. But I still say, it's extremely prohibitive. It's probably the highest fee of any town. And I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I just know the last time we had a very prohibitive thing, it did not go very well.
It lasted a month.
And yeah,
Gee.
It was-
Remember that one?
that's the only thing I
for the
think.
first
I
three,
think
right?
it's extremely prohibitive, and I really don't know who. Nobody even knows this is even coming. I mean, it's going to be a big surprise for a
Well,
lot of people. And,
It's been well out. I mean, all of our notices or public notices are out there.
Yes,
Whether
they
folks
are.
read them, Gene, I don't know. I certainly appreciate yourself and
Yeah.
the other members of your industry coming out. I
Yep.
would be disappointed if you didn't. You
Yep.
know, and I'd be surprised if you weren't happy with
What-
it. I mean,
we will see how it works, and I hope there's a enforcement at least so that everybody's doing the same thing. I think that was one of the bigger problems in the past, that there was the lack of enforcement. So I'm trying to follow the rules and other people aren't, and
yes, not fair.
it's a pain. It's a
No,
real pain.
we get that, but thank you for that.
All right,
And
thank you for my time.
Thanks, Jim.
by no doubt never easy when you're changing an ordinance like this, but we have the dichotomy of trying to balance, how to do a preservation yet not knock guys out of business, and it's not easy. It's not easy, but anyway. Anybody else wishing to be heard on this ordinance? Step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record.
Ken Leposer, 25 Boxwood Drive. I'm a member of Cedar Village, and wanted to thank you for taking care of the associations on that, because it would be a little difficult. Do we have to contact each time, though, that we are doing something?
For the homeowners association?
Yeah.
You would have to contact Ron Kirk's office, because that would be who
Just
you
to
would
let
go
him
through.
know that we are doing
Correct.
something. Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you.
Good.
Thanks, Ken.
Seeing here, anybody else? No? So I'll make a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 2386.
Make a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 2386.
Second?
I'll second.
Achara?
Yes.
Donlin?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes.
Siciliano?
Yes, action please on 2386.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt ordinance 2386 and publish according to law.
Second?
I'll second.
Achara?
Yes.
Donlin?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes.
Siciliano?
With the amendments, yes. Okay, for introduction tonight, we have ordinance 2387. Jess, would you read the title?
Sure. Ordinance 2387, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 21 of the Comprehensive Land Development Ordinance of the Township of Ocean, entitled Solar Energy Systems.
Okay, and that's going to have its public hearing on June 9th, 2022. Oh, somebody please move to introduce ordinance 2387.
I'd like to introduce ordinance 2387.
Second?
I'll second.
Achara?
Yes.
Donlin?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes.
Siciliano?
Yes. And again, that'll have its public hearing on June 9th. 2388.
Ordinance 2388, an ordinance amending ordinance number 2360, entitled An Ordinance Fixing Salaries and Compensation of Certain Offices, Positions, and Employees of the Township of Ocean.
Okay, someone please introduce ordinance 2388.
I'd like to introduce ordinance 2388.
Second?
I'll second.
Achara?
Yes.
Donlin?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes.
Siciliano?
Yes, two will have its public hearing on June 9th, 2022. And finally, 2389. Jess, would you read the title?
Ordinance 2389, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 21 of the Comprehensive Land Development Ordinance of the Township of Ocean, entitled Electric Vehicle Supply and Service Equipment.
Great. Someone introduce ordinance 2389.
I'd like to introduce ordinance 2389.
Second?
I'll second.
Achara?
Yes.
Donlin?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes.
Siciliano?
Yes. Anybody?
We had a problem with resolution 94A and B.
Okay.
I need to change my vote if you don't mind. I got excited in the moment. I need to recuse myself on those two.
Okay.
Okay, rolling back. Where were we, Jess?
94.
Next page. Oh, we
I
had
got
A and
lost
B,
in it.
yes.
Yeah, and the other one.
So going back,
This one here.
2294, there was an A and a B.
Has to do with the other.
2294A, agreement for the following. Block 33, lot 1701, 1901, Deal Road 35, North Phase 1B, and Basin 9, only U.S. Homes, Inc., Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
I'll second.
Achara?
I will recuse, please.
Okay. Donlin?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes.
Siciliano?
Yes, in block 33, lot 17, same property. Phase 8 residential road, C and D owner, U.S. Homes LLC, Lennar. Someone offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
I'll
Achara?
second.
Oh, sorry. Achara?
I'll recuse myself, please.
Okay. Donlin?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Naplatani?
Yes.
Siciliano?
Yes.
Thank you, folks.
All right, at this time, before we adjourn, if anybody from the public has anything germane to Ocean Township business, now's the time to come up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record.
Hello, my name is Mike Lee, 21 Tilton Drive. I do have someone who lives behind me, a neighbor on 27 Oxford, who's running an Airbnb.
Oh.
I have two children, a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old. It is just a bit concerning. There's a lot of strangers that are showing up. It's an active listing on Airbnb right now.
Wow.
There's a back door with one room that he leases out, rents out. It's mainly on the weekends. I spoke to Jen Bahar in February. They said they did an investigation, but you're not going to see anything if you're just driving by the front of the house and you're doing it on the weekend.
I think the fact that you're seeing an active listing is enough for them to be in violation of our ordinance.
Yeah, we have an ordinance
And then
prohibiting.
a letter and with a strict notice that a fine is going to ensue, not a second notice, not a third.
Mhm.
The fine will be imposed.
Could you repeat the address again?
It's 27 Oxford Drive.
Thank you.
So it backs right up to Tilton. So when I had moved in 2 years ago, I had to cut some trees back there.
You
so
noticed.
I would have never really known until I did that, but all of it was kind of overgrown, needed to be cut. And now I see over and I notice it. And, you know, I have my kid's playset right there. So it's just a bit concerning. I did have to call the police 2 weekends ago because there was a gentleman that was just kind of hanging around. I've noticed sometimes people, their code to get in sometimes doesn't work, so they have to call the homeowner. So they're kind of just hanging
In the
around,
backyard.
suspicious and everything. So, you know, just similar to your point, Councilman Fisher, about like the break-ins and stuff. You just don't know right now what really going on. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention. If there's anything you could do, I'd be totally appreciate.
What's the site that you see it on?
Airbnb.
Airbnb.
Oh, Airbnb
Yeah,
site.
yeah. Like if the pin drops on the map, it literally brings it right to that guy's address.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Yeah, I got an email or something from you. You sent me some
Yeah,
communication.
a little crazy. So I've been taking pictures of people
Yes, I
showing
saw
up, and
one.
the fact that there's like a new car in the driveway every like other day, just to try to give just some extra evidence. So
Yeah,
you know, just
okay.
trying to do what I can just to kind of protect my kids. That's
Yeah,
all.
well, thanks for bringing it to our attention.
Thanks.
Good.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
There's 2 listings in Ocean Township.
All right, so they both get a letter. Come on up.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Welcome.
you're welcome. Paul.
I'm assuming this is the one.
Take your time, but hurry up.
Paul Merowitz, 14 Magnolia Court, Ocean. On April 25th, the planning board issued an agenda for a new case, Deal 35 Land LLC. The planning board agenda did not indicate to what extent it was requesting of variances or plan development. I sent an open notice to the township, which asked for the public notice of aforementioned planning board application, or transmittal notice to the township official newspaper for aforementioned planning board application. I got a response from the clerk's office that no such document existed. That raised the question in my mind, did they even file a public notice with the Coaster, which is the official newspaper for the planning board? And I looked at the last 4 editions of the Coaster and could not find such application or such public notice, which indicated 2 problems. 1, it was never published, or number 2, code enforcement doesn't look to make sure that the public notice is received. The third possibility is I was just wrong and it was sent. But it brought to my attention something even more compelling. We're in a digital age today. It's not 1849. I have a subscription digitally to the New York Times. I have a digital subscription to the Asbury Park Press. I don't have a digital subscription to the Coaster. But I dare you to find the official public notices in the Asbury Park Press, and I couldn't find them on the Coaster website either. That indicates a potential problem with transparency. And I don't think this council is trying to hide anything. But I think we need to either ensure that our application process requires a public notification that is digital. And I know that there's a difference in cost between the Coaster and the Asbury Park Press. That's not the issue. The easiest way to do it is to ensure that for both the planning board and the Board of Adjustment provides a copy of their official notification to the township, and that the township either send it out on those who might want to receive an email on it, or we post it in the same fashion as we post the agendas and the minutes for the council itself. And that would be something that I would truly like to see, because do people know that about the tree ordinance? Well, we may think we've advertised it enough, but obviously if there are people who are going to be complaining that they never knew about it, we can also cite as a council, we've also published it on our own website and it was available for you to see. So that type of transparency, I think, is good for the council.
Ordinances are published on the website. You're
I'm talking about the planning board
Yes,
and
gotcha. The agenda. And
the Board of Adjustment detail. I mean,
Let me just say, is there any reason why they wouldn't have had to advertise?
There is a good legal reason that maybe Marty can explain. 'Cause I don't
To
wanna
be honest
explain
with you,
without it in front of me.
I don't recall what the reasoning was, but certain applications before a board did not require public notice, and I'm not sure, but there might have been an argument that this was no variances involved and didn't require public notice.
all that aside, Mr. Arthur.
That's a separate issue
That's
from
a
what you're
separate
talking-
issue from what I really
Transparency
think is
one.
more transparency that's
But
needed.
I think you want the planning board and zoning board to take it upon themselves to do a digital notice.
Well, you know, when you talk about planning board and board of adjustment, theoretically they're independent, but I would call them quasi-independent because essentially the council approves their appointment. So
Well,
they're
they-
not, and we also publish the planning board agendas and the board of adjustment agendas. So they're not, we can somehow work it out, and I will leave the powers that be to figure out
digital
how we
platform.
do it, but we need to do it.
Paul, but when they published the agenda, didn't the planning board agenda have that listed? They matter.
Hold on, got it right here.
That's the excerpt right from the agenda. I posted it in the email, so there was no question.
Well, I didn't get any emails, so I don't know.
All right, so as to the digital platform, our managers heard you. We, of course, we're all for advancing technology, and it's going to be better for everyone. So we have we're working on an internal network now, so that can be incorporated into it as far as an improvement.
Okay. No, but what I'm saying is,
I understand that.
it was there. I mean, somebody who was interested in that application would know that matter was on. Exactly the detail of it's a different issue, but they would know that's on.
Yeah, but the others include, we can talk about that later. No reason to take up the time.
Okay. Go ahead.
Chris already, it's a different topic completely.
Different topic.
Okay.
I know members of council have heard from a township resident about the issues that they're having with their landlord in an apartment complex in this township. And I went to see whether or not we had any ordinances relating to rental units within the township. And I couldn't find any. I may be wrong,
but there are a lot of other townships and municipalities that have ordinances for rental controls, obligations of landlords, as well as a rental control board, or whatever you want to call it. And we might want to consider it. I mean, and have things in there, like in Belmar, where they had a concern about how many residents were sharing a particular house because they were having 20 people sharing a house near the beach during the summer months. We may have issues like that near Monmouth University. There are a whole bunch of different issues for rental regulations that we ought to consider and figure out how we're going to help some of the residents of this township who happen to live in rental units. And I appreciate you listening. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to just say this as somebody who's dealt in that market for a long time. We're one of the strictest as far as residential rental units here. We have a requirement, a landlord registration requirement. We have requirements for CO turnovers, and it's quite onerous to the landlord and or applicant to come in now. You have to have your fireplace inspected, your furnace, make sure for CO emissions. So it's a lengthy process. As far as the apartment buildings themselves, they go through the CO process as well. So it's not like anybody can just move in there. And we go by the HUD guidelines is how many people per square foot. So you couldn't cram in 10 people in a 10 by 10 room. I'm not saying it's not done, but that's not supposed to happen.
Those regulations that you just referred to all relate to initial construction or certificate of occupancies for a new
Continued
tenant.
use. No, this is continued use, even not only for new construction, but
Well,
if you go to rent your house out now, Paul, you'll come under the landlord
I believe you're
registration.
aware of this thing that prompted my attention to this from Facebook.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem that if what is being said is true, anything is helping this particular resident out and the other residents of this this apartment complex. So we may want to consider what we're missing or what can be done to help residents in a similar situation.
Okay. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you for the input. So we're at the general end of the meeting here. So if anybody has any comments, now's the time before we close. Come up. Anything germane to Ocean Township business? State your name and address. Get a little closer.
John Smalley, 440 West Park Avenue. I guess I missed the vote going in, and I didn't really get to read this too good. I see you changed the 5 years to 3 years, and the caliber to 2.5. Gene told me he didn't change anything.
We made some changes, and I think some of the changes also pertain to the HOAs.
Right, I know you didn't want us to change it from the 3 trees in 1 year, and we realized 3 trees in 5 years might be a stretch. So we appreciated that observation. So we met in the middle. Said 3 trees in 3 years might be a good meeting middle point.
I mean, my only problem is that, the 3 trees in 3 years, I think is still too much. But I mean, it doesn't matter. You passed it already. I mean, but there does come a time when you're writing up these rules that you infringe on people's rights. There's 2 sides to the story, right? So I did my homework, and this could be deemed unconstitutional. You could be violating people's constitutional rights. You're entitled as a board, to pass memorandum and your codes and this. But, you can't take away the rights of the people to do what they want with their property. Building and electrical and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You're doing that. And it's also biased because it's geared against one people. I mean, the one guy said they can afford it. They're only here 10 weeks out of the month, and he's the guy that wrote the thing, Lily. That's what he said that day. It's in the video. I have it at my house. You know what I mean? So, this is the highest tree application in the state by 70%. There's nothing even close to this. $100 a permit, $100 per tree. And they can afford it. But, that don't make it right to make them pay it, right?
We did change one thing in terms of the $100 per tree. It's $100 for the first 3 trees.
Oh, well, that's different. 'Cause that was
And that's in there too.
But, they can afford it. But, I mean, for him to anti-Semitic. Needs to be brought to attention. Like, that guy should step down. And I'm working on it. I'm gonna get him. You know what I mean? I'm raising as much hell as I can. You know what I mean? You gotta be fair with things. You know, and I got a business to run.
Yeah.
You know, I got a family to feed. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. You know, you guys do what you gotta do. I do what I gotta do. But, you know, I just think the 3-year thing's a lot. You don't wanna get in a situation where people end up losing property, where there's situations where we're waiting for permits. So we'll see how it goes as they put the permits in. And then maybe, you know, maybe we'll be able to come back, and if there's a problem, readdress it. All right?
Like we did, frankly.
No, she did.
Yeah.
She did, but there's, you know, I get it. The old school guys are tough.
I mean, even last time when we passed the first ordinance that we passed years and years ago,
Yeah.
there were problems, and after a couple of years, it got
lasted a
watered
month.
down tremendously. So if there are problems, they'll react to it.
Yeah, I just, you know, it's tough getting, listen, those people, I don't know if there's not enough people, or they're not organizing things the way they should, but that place is a mess upstairs. Just not for anything, like, you know, any permit up there, you're not getting nothing done in 21 days. Like you're supposed, that's just not happening. And I get it, because I look at 5 houses coming down every 3 days. I
See the
understand.
volume of
Pools.
permits.
I look at people who are getting pools. There must be 50, 60 pools going in.
They anticipate 66 new homes coming on the market in Ocean in the next 3 days, and within 8 days, most of them will be sold. And then once they close, like you said, it perpetuates the need for permits, and people want to do construction, on, and then it just overwhelms.
I get it, yeah.
Overwhelms the board.
But
that 66 more homeowners will be calling you.
I mean, it's crazy. I get it. So I'm running ragged. But I mean, I guess
I'm sure you
we'll
are.
see how it works. And I just want to voice my opinion.
As I said to Gene, I'll say it to you too, John, I appreciate you guys coming up, and I'd be very disappointed if you guys agreed with the ordinance.
Oh, yeah. No.
In your line of work.
I don't agree with anything.
Right, in your line of work, I'd be very disappointed. Okay. Anybody else? No? Seeing and hearing no one, someone make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
I'll second.
Ventura,
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Naplatani,
Yes.
Siciliano.
Yes. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all for joining us. We are twice a day, and also our archives on YouTube and shown very next day. Have a great evening, everybody.